Are the British police correct to be knocking motorcycle thieves off their mopeds? Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're enjoying the channel and the series. Please subscribe and hit the notifications bell for all the latest videos. So, in this video, I'm talking about the British police and the tactic that they've been using over the last few months, the last year or so, is to try and catch these moped thieves, especially in big cities, by actually chasing them, with their cars, and then just rubbing the back wheel and just knocking the riders off their bikes, and so they can catch them. Now, yesterday, a kind of leading politician in the UK, well, I'm not sure if she's leading, but she's for the Labour Party, Diane Abbott, who's had some odd views over the years. She's come out and heavily criticised the police, saying, what about if these kids, riding these mopeds, they get injured or even die, or whatever. It's not good. Police can't take the law into their own hands. Okay, so this is my take on this. First of all, these kids, they are kids usually, and they are very violent kids, and they're going out, all tooled up with hammers, with saws, with cordless angle grinders, that kind of thing. And they're going out into the streets and they're threatening people, either trying to, knock people off their bikes, they're trying to steal their bikes of all sizes, not just on mopeds. They're trying to steal their keys, they're hitting people, and then they're running off. And now, for the longest time, not a lot seemed to be done about this growing issue. Now, what I don't like about it, first of all, it's a criminal activity, which I'm never going to condone, anything like that. But also, it really brings a bad impression upon motorcycling in general. Now, these aren't, they might be able to ride bikes, but there's no way they're part of any biking community that I want to know. Okay, so they are alien to us as well. But unfortunately, we know we're being dragged into this kind of notion as well, motorcycling gets a bad rap. Actually, I don't think it is. I think we're coming out smelling of roses, actually, because I think everybody can see, actually, these are just kids. They're stealing mopeds. They're actually targeting other riders as well, which is not good. They're just very violent, they're stealing, and they're using the bikes, and they're all, faces that are masked over, and they're just going around and just trying to steal stuff from other people as well. So, they haven't been caught, or so we thought. But the police have been coming out and saying, no, we have got a tactic, we are trying to address this issue. So the other day, the Met Police in London, they released footage of their tactics, and basically they are pursuing these kids on mopeds who are, running from the police, assuming they've caused a crime or committed a crime, and they've rubbed the back wheel with the car and just knocked the rider off the bike at relatively low speed, and then they've caught them. Now, is there potential for injury? Yes, of course there is. Is there a potential that there could be a counterclaim? Yes. Is there potential for a fatality? Possibly. But since when are we actually protecting criminals? Since when is it right for anybody just to be able to go and do whatever they want and be left unchallenged? As the saying goes, evil thrives when good do nothing. They've got to do something. You can't just let this action remain unchallenged. So whilst I understand the concerns over the tactics in terms of actually that you could start injuring people, well, actually they shouldn't be stealing bikes in the first place. They shouldn't be committing crime. And, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. It's as simple as that. If they really wanted to be liberal about this, they actually really need to start addressing the inner city issues. They need to start looking at activities for youth, youth engagement, that kind of thing, on a broad scale. But, that horse has already bolted. Basically, there are kids out there, or they're criminals, or young adults, I should say, they're into their 20s, they're going out there, they're stealing bikes and they're committing crimes. Something needs to be done. Because other people are getting seriously injured by this. You know, so you cannot let crimes go unpunished or, you know, undetected or whatever. Just let them run free. Because unfortunately, if you let these crimes or these criminals just carry on, then they'll just get more and more brazen. And it will end up, they won't be using hammers and knives and other stuff. They'd be just using guns, and they just start shooting people. So that's the problem. You know, say, you know, we within the biking community, you know, say, well, yeah, you've got to knock them off, arrest them, and get it done. Now, you know, is it the best solution? Possibly not, but, you know, because somebody could get hurt. But as I say, you shouldn't be on the bike anyway. They shouldn't have stolen and stuff, you know. So, you know, these kids got a lot of front when, you know, all of a sudden, you know, they're committing a crime or threatening other people. But yeah, they'll be playing the victim card, I'm sure, you know, when it comes to the actual, you know, facing the police and facing the consequences afterwards. You know, but that's for the courts to decide. That's not for me to decide, you know. But as a tactic, yeah, I kind of agree with it. You've got to stop this kind of criminal activity and stop the malaise that's going through, you know, the urban streets as well. And you know, because they're not just targeting, you know, other members of the public. They're targeting motorcyclists as well, and people are riding scooters. So, you know, that's what I would say. Police have my complete support in this regard. However, Diane Abbott does not have my support in this. You know, this is a typical politician trying to get brownie points, you know, off a particular situation. That's right. You know, you choose the juxtaposition and just say, oh, let's just start criticising the police, shall we? Let's just start criticising, you know, law and order, just trying to keep law and order. Yes, sometimes it isn't ideal, but you know what? It can be effective in the short run, and it might be the shock that these kids need to say, actually, if the police start chasing us, they're not going to let us go now. They're going to knock us off our bikes and we might get hurt. It might make them think twice. So before you start, you know, attacking the police, Diane Abbott, you really need to, you know, check yourself and actually check what's going on here. There's rising crime rates. The police are doing something about it, or they're trying to do something about it. You know, with the limited resources they've got, we all know that the problems within the police funding right now, and they're trying to get the job done. And it might be sending a good message to other, you know, criminal activities that they say, well, actually, it's probably not a good idea to do this anymore. So I think you need to, you know, rein it in a bit and actually be a bit more supportive of the police, but also of the difficult circumstances that they're facing. And, you know, maybe you could have worded it a little bit better and say, well, you know, okay, yes, this is a situation. Hopefully we can find another solution, a better solution. But to come out and start slating them, you know, and saying they can't take the law into their own hands, you kind of have to look at the issue, look at the problem right now. You know, they're not actually just going up to them and shooting these kids. They actually are trying to give them a chance. So, you know, anyway, that was my thought on it. That's the news. Motorcycle thieves being knocked off their bikes by the police, you know, to try and stop this crime wave, this heat wave, whatever the term is. And, you know, it's getting a lot of support out there, and justifiably so. But it's also starting to get criticism out there as well from certain politicians like Diane Abbott. And I would say you need to start supporting the police in this a little bit, I think. Anyway, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. It's as simple as that. Catch you on the next video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and let me know in the comments what you think as well. Right, catch you on the next one. Cheers.